consider the new normal isn't fixed. It's an evolving situation. And it's here to stay, at least for the foreseeable future. Everyone hopes that someday we can go back to the way things were. But was everything the good thing? Is it worth going back to the way things were? Or we take this opportunity to make things better? Apologies for sounding a little pessimistic here, but the empirical evidence seems to suggest that this new normal is here to stay. Doctors and scientists are still figuring out the perfect vaccine for malaria for the last 140 years and tuberculosis since 1882. The fastest vaccine that got created was for measles. And if you look at the newer viruses like Ebola and AIDS, they're still struggling to find a vaccine for over 3 decades. So until we find a silver bullet for COVID, we have to figure out how to make sense of this current environment and thrive in it. One of the biggest reality of this new normal is work from home. Initially, everyone loved this new arrangement, including me. Everything from the safety and comfort from home, no traffic to go to work, no more rushing through morning chores, having meals with the family, listening to music, catching up on pending watch list, trying to make new recipes of coffee, and some Instagram-friendly food. But work from home soon turned out to be like a usual Bollywood romance. It holds up well till the interval, but after that the drama starts. Everyone's me time soon vanished. The homemaker was missing the afternoon naps, listening to music, catching up on TV, chatting up with friends. Children, on the other hand, were missing the playgrounds. They were missing the friendly chats at school, the socializing during tuitions, and their free time. The office folks started to miss the coffee breaks in office, gossip sessions, smoke breaks, and even casual chats at the water cooler. Soon the work from home started to feel like a virtual house arrest, and this social isolation started leading to mental fatigue. Now, couple this with the physical space that we have for ourselves, or should I say the lack of it, when we are working from home. The average household in India has 7 times lesser personal space than Australia and the USA. We are talking about a little over 100 square feet per capita. While the personal lives were expected to grow more and more flexible, the same wasn't true for the work lives. Our corporate lives have been fixed. The fixed time format was used in the factories during the Industrial Revolution, and our good old 9 to 5 is inspired from just that. We are still clinging on to it and making superficial modifications. In my 25 years of experience, we've hardly seen any major innovations around the same. The fixed working hours have changed to flexi hours, and if you look at the rules for the casual, the privileged, or the sick leaves haven't changed either. The only innovation that has been is that you can choose from the fixed format of leaves that have been allotted to you. Working over the weekends are now compensated with comp offs. Casual Fridays and childcare facilities at office are possibly the only real innovations for the employees. But the question is it enough? This culture isn't sustainable for the work from home environment. We have absorbed this clockwork culture in our everyday schedules, but is it really helping? Who has really benefited from work from home? From the employer perspective, the work hasn't been suffering, but employees felt that they were overextending themselves to complete their regular workload. This clearly suggests that the work was getting harder to manage in a work from home environment. From the organization point of view, the current environment helped accelerate the entire adoption of technology with respect to work from home, which would have otherwise taken a couple of years. While the business today has its own set of challenges, work from home brings the much required efficiency and the obvious savings in terms of rent and the operating expenses. Apart from the direct saving in operating expenses, employers can now have the flexibility to choose the talent from a wider geography. Access to employees from different locations means better capabilities at lower cost. Organizations slowly and steadily realizing that work from home is a sustainable model for the future. The big question is, are the employees being left behind? The work from home shift needs to shift our way of thinking. The basis of this forward-looking working model needs to start with nurturing the organization's culture. There needs to be a different leadership style which may or may not have been successful in the past. Existing tools of motivation and performance evaluation also needs to be looked at. All in all, organizations must demonstrate to their employees that they care for them and are willing to go that extra mile for them. This demands a fundamental change in the outlook of the organization. I don't have a one-size-fits-all solution, but I certainly like to urge the organization to think what's apt for their business and what's right for their employees. They must put together a new charter that demonstrates how the organization cares for their employees and are willing to go that extra mile. Steps in this direction will help retain talent and also position the company as a more flexible and employee-centric organization. And as the organization adopts this new normal, they must ensure that it's a better normal for everyone. Trust their employees. It's nearly impossible to micromanage their employees in a work-from-home environment. Employers must learn to trust their employees. This doesn't mean leaving the employees to fend for themselves. Instead, they should give them the tools needed to make them work better. Focus on outcomes, not hours. Obvious but true, most companies still pay their employees based on the number of hours they've clocked. In fact, employees get penalized if their stipulated number of hours are not being clocked. If employees were rewarded for the great end result rather than the number of hours, they could focus on the end, not the means. This allows them to work at their own pace, at their own convenience, and allowing them to be more efficient. In industries like ours, where collaboration is paramount, the employees should respect each other's time. This empowerment allows them to excel and improvise in what they do and reinvent newer ways and more efficient ways to complete their task. If a team or an individual is able to produce something great in a lesser stipulated time, then they should be rewarded, not penalized. Separate the wheat from the chaff. The unlimited vacation policy adopted by many media companies across the world is a great way to display the trust for their employees. Employees have been found to be more relaxed and less compelled to complete their quota of leaves in that particular year. There will be employees who will misuse this policy, but it's a great way for the organization to assess who are the dedicated ones, who are the ones who are really interested in their own performance and the company's performance. These kind of policies are in the interest of both the employees and the employers. I would encourage organizations to find their own version of unlimited vacation policy and implement it. If providing a well-equipped and a comfortable office is a primary responsibility of the employer, the same responsibility should be extended when the employees are working from home. Most people work on their beds, on their sofas, and their dining tables, and this is far from ergonomic seating condition. It is the responsibility of the employees to provide a better chair, better table, and stuff that provides a better productive environment. This can be in the form of perks, friendly loans, and joining bonus. It's important for employers to do small things right. So whether it is training on the right way to sit or help create a suitable environment for people to work better and more productive way at home. These small but important measures make employees feel that they're taken care of. Bring back the water cooler. Recreating the work environment means recreating the after work environment too. The social aspects of working together should not be overlooked. Colleagues could earlier head out for a drink or go out for a casual conversation around the water cooler, which now does not exist. These experiences are essential social lubricant that result in a great working environment. We tried doing this by having a Friday night Zoom catch-up with a drink for the entire organization, and soon realized that these kind of conversation needs to be in a smaller and a splintered group of 6 to 10 people, where the conversation can be more inclusive, more conducive, and more meaningful. In a larger group, the new joinees or the lower level of the organization pyramid are hesitant to participate and defeats the entire purpose of a catch-up. It's about doing small things right. Imagine if the lunch break, which was originally 1 to 2, is now made 1 to 2:30. This demonstrates a realization from the employer that the employee needs that little extra time to not just have food, but also cook it without the domestic help. It's a direct signal from the organization that they care for their employees and they recognize the current environment that we live in. Only time will say whether many people use this eventually, but it's a clear signal that they care for their employees. Initiatives like this make up a management strategy founded on emotional intelligence, helping create a fulfilling work environment. Employees need to find their own success mantra if they're looking for work from home as a long-term strategy. The organization need to shoulder their responsibilities, trust their employees, and provide a conducive environment to help them create earn better normal than the one that existed earlier. And this is an idea worth spreading.